if you're a person that has friends, you've probably invited them over to your house before. And if you've done that, you've probably wanted to share your Wi-Fi password with them. Now, if you're a follower of my channel, you probably know that secure Wi-Fi passwords can sometimes be hard to remember, especially because WPA2 is very vulnerable to dictionary-style attacks. So, to prevent this, why don't we share our Wi-Fi password using something easy, like a QR code? I can have it hanging on the wall here with all of my art. When my guests come over, they can scan it, get on my Wi-Fi network, we can have a LAN gaming session, whatever. So, if you're interested in how Wi-Fi QR codes work, what makes them special, how we generate them from our own Wi-Fi network information, and how I cut mine out on a laser cutter, then come along on this adventure. So you've probably all seen these magical little squares before. So what do they mean anyway? So taking this code as an example here, I think the first obvious distinction are these three marks here. Now these are positioning, and also this fourth one here, and these help you orient the code if you've rotated it in any sort of different way. So I could put the code this way or this way, and it'll still be able to read fine. Next up we have the timing track. So that's this little guy here, 101010 here, and also down here, 101010. This helps us lock on to the grid which we formed of all these ones and zeros here. Around this corner here, and also around this corner here, we have format information that tells us how to decode it. And then generally in the center we have data, which is encoded with a Reed-Solomon code. Now if you've ever seen those kind of codes where someone goes and plops their logo right in the middle, that's actually not part of the standard at all. All of these bits in the middle are important, but they uses a Reed-Solomon error correcting code, which is able to correct and detect bit errors through this whole bit in the data area. So that's designed so that you can view it from off angles, poor lighting conditions, poor contrast, etc., and still read out the code. When you go and you drop your logo in the middle, now you've taken out a bunch of your error correcting ability by plopping your logo there and erasing all these pixels. So don't do that. I mean, you can do that if you have good scanning ability, but you shouldn't do that. Now today though, I'm talking about Wi-Fi, and these QR codes come from the WPA3 specification. At least that's the most recent version. Of course, if you want to read the spec yourself, link down in the description below to the WPA spec. You're looking for section 7. And here we go, section 7, Wi-Fi URI. This URI can be encoded into a QR code to provide a convenient means for provisioning the credentials to devices. So, the Wi-Fi QR codes are pretty simple. They start with the literal word Wi-Fi, colon. Then there's a number of fields. Each one has a name, colon, value, and they're separated with semicolons. So at a minimum, we need to include the SSID. Everything else is technically optional, so let's see what that looks like. So I just got Wi-Fi, SSID, Bill Y the science fi, and we just asked DuckDuckGo to generate that, and it gave us a QR code. If I pull up on my phone, it says join Bill Y the science fi network. So if you've got a public Wi-Fi, it's technically all you need to do. Most people probably aren't running truly unencrypted Wi-Fi. This works this way for truly open or OWE, but most of you guys are probably running WPA2, WPA3, so we need a password on that. So now I've added this TWPA. This tells us we're using security. And I've added P, correct torus battery staple. That is our password. And once again, the phone finds it no problem. And now that I got my QR codes generated, it's time to cut them out using this laser sent to me by Algo Laser. So this is the Algo Laser Mark II. Algo Laser sent it to me to make this video. Like most lasers in this price class, it's based on an open source firmware called Gerbil. Now Gerbil could be used for 3D printers, really anything that runs G-code. Most of the time though, it's used for CNC machines, CNC routers, lasers, stuff like this. So Gerbil, there's plenty of software that can talk to Gerbil. If you want to do fancy stuff, I recommend paying for a software called Lightburn. It's the software I use for the robotics teams. It's really easy to use. You can do multiple layers, cutting, engraving, all that kind of stuff. Now I today am using the app that came with this guy. So I have a little touchscreen here, and the touchscreen has Wi-Fi. So I connect it up to my network over Wi-Fi. Then from the app I can scan, connect to this guy, and then engrave an image. Either engraving or cutting, not both at the same time, but that's okay, I can do one then the other. They also have a QR code generator built in. They have one for Wi-Fi QR codes too, which I thought was really cool. But I'm just generating my QR codes manually using DuckDuckGo, pasting them in, using a tool to generate a square. QR codes are squares, so it's pretty easy for the cut path. and then cutting that. If you want to do fancier stuff, I've done like a picture of me and my girlfriend, and I thought that turned out really well. So for that, I just plopped in an image editor, made a square that was the same aspect ratio, and then I ran the engraved pass from the image and then the square for the cut pass. So pretty simple. Now I also do need wood for this. It came with a small amount of wood, but I thought about going into the backyard and chopping down a tree. We didn't have any big ones there. So then I went to a nice finished forest and thought about that, but I also didn't have a good axe and a good saw. Maybe I'll go chop down a tree and cut it into little slices and engrave QR codes for you guys to sell online or something. Let me know if you'd actually buy like a Wi-Fi QR code from me on a piece of finished birch in the comments. But so I went to Korauta and I bought a single sheet of 4mm plywood. This is birch plywood. Cut it up into 3 pieces because the guy was super nice and also super bored. So using those pieces of 4mm birch plywood, I have made all the QR codes in this video. Also, bonus, let me know in the comments how many ones you were able to scan correctly and which one your favorite was. So I set the machine up on my back porch. Now it does come with laser safety glasses, which you absolutely need to use. It does not have an enclosure, so you should be the only one in the room with it with the glasses. It also doesn't come with a fan, so I did it outside. If you have a garage, that would probably be like the best place. So I was just on a back patio. The wind blew all the dust away. Now cutting wood is not toxic like some plastics can be. It does generate a lot of particulates though, and it does smell bad. So do it outside or in a well-ventilated area, like my back patio. So that's pretty much it for today. I've shown you how to make QR codes, what the syntax is for Wi-Fi QR codes. It's pretty easy, so you don't have to go out and try to find a generator. Some of these generator sites also like route you through them. So if you've ever tried to generate like a QR code for a YouTube video or something, it's very possible if you just picked the first free site or advertised site that it didn't actually end up there, that it redirected you. So careful with that. That's why I just use DuckDuckGo because it's easiest. Now, if you're interested in how to generate a secure Wi-Fi password and what makes Wi-Fi passwords in WPA2 very insecure, see this video I've made before on Wi-Fi security. That was a fun one, so I love looking back on it. If you want to chat with me more about Wi-Fi, networking, things like that, link to a Discord server down below. You're free to chat with me there. If you want to give me a tip, Ko-fi, link down below for that as well. Always appreciate those. Mastodon, if you want to follow me on the Fediverse, Mastodon link down below as well. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next adventure.